Good evening. Happy Sunday to everyone. It's True School Sports. Just want to talk a little bit, give a review about yesterday's yesterday's fights that were on. They were all good fights that happened. There were some that were questionable, some of them that we tend to think that they're going to be better than others. But I mean, there was a lot of surprises that I thought were very interesting. We can start off with Murata was Gigi Golovkin, Golovkin, GGG. Murata came in there for the first 5 rounds in Japan, put up his title against Gennady Golovkin. And let me tell you, what's up, Ronnie? Ronnie, what's deal? What's going on, yo? And let me tell you, Golovkin came in there. Murata took the first 5 rounds. He looked good, but then after that, Gigi went in there and broke him down systematically and literally took him down and beat him to a pole. Bottom line, and you got to be at least, as much as we don't want to say, as much as you want to say, Gennady Golovkin is a little old, and he's not at his best like he was a few years ago. He went in there, took the title away from Murata, and he prevailed with the win, and now he moves on, hopefully, to get that trilogy with Canelo. But as far as him being 40 years old, I know he was inactive for quite a while. He could have fought other fighters, but as far as the middleweight division, right now there's nobody better than Gennady Golovkin because of him beating Murata in Japan at that too. So we'll stay tuned. We'll stay tuned to what he's gonna do. Keep in mind that like I say, he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight Canelo. Canelo said before the fight that Golovkin would have lost that fight. He was actually thinking about fighting the winner of Beterbiev and Joe Smith. So don't be surprised if Gennady Golovkin, Canelo, after he fights Gennady Golovkin, and taking care of Bivol, hopefully he does that also. He's going to move up and go ahead and fight the winner of Beterbiev and Joe Smith. I would go that route only because I think that I think now that he's already at 175. Wants to stay 175 pounds. I mean, he's already at the weight class. Why would you want to go to another weight class when you already beat the second guy in Bivol, which I can't discredit because Bivol is going to come out, and I think as he comes out, he's gonna test Canelo, his quickness, his movement, his jab is real good. So we know that. But if he gets through Bivol, in my opinion, I think he should just stay at 175, finish making haciendo historia, and goes out there and fights Bivol or Joe Smith, Joe Smith Jr. I think that'd be a great fight for him. If he beats that, he's going to gain more of my respect. Because then I see that he fought two of the guys that I want him to fight, and then he went on. And then if he goes down to 168 and takes care of whether Benavidez, Bubo Andre, all the other 168 pounds there, I wouldn't be surprised what Canelo will do. That being said, we also had a great fight in the 154 division between Sebastian Fundora against Eric the Hammer Lubin. Lubin was on a winning streak. I think he won like five or six times in a row, impressively, and he was hoping that if he could get a win against Sebastian Fundora, he would get another title shot or a shot at Jamal Charlo, who knocked the shit out of him on the first fight. I said coming into that fight, and I'll say it again, coming into that fight, I said that that's a 50-50 fight. I don't know who's going to win the fight, but I will say that Lubin's very chiny. If he can go inside that tall, big tree, act like Paul Bunyan and break him down and chop him down like a tree, then he's got a good shot. But that being said, I also said that Fundora's had a long height, had a big height reach, and he also had a long reach also. So that caused a lot of problems in that fight. Ultimately, Lubin got beat down. He actually came back and literally he actually knocked down the tall tree in Sebastian Fundora, but Sebastian Fundora came back and battered him to no end. His face when Sebastian Fundora was finished with his face was so big it was unreal. So we can't discredit Fundora. Fundora proved right now, and I have to say, he proved that he can go out there in 154 and dominate as tall as he is. Lubin, from where he goes from here, I don't know. I think it's very smart of his trainer to literally go ahead and throw in the towel. I mean, he was getting beat down so bad that it was the best thing for him to go ahead and throw the towel. And like you say, a picture says 1,000 words, but boy, Lubin got his ass whooped. And if he was looking for that rematch with Jamal Charlo, you can forget about that. That is not going to happen anymore. And then I was watching a post interview about Fundora. Fundora says he would like to go up there and fight now. He wants to fight Jamal Charlo. I mean, he better slow down. I mean, Jamal Charlo ain't no joke, man. Jamal Charlo will go in there and he will tear you up. I think he's a lot better as far as boxing levels than Lubin, and I think that he will actually break down Fundora and beat him. But that's not taking nothing away from Fundora. The fight that probably will be good for Fundora probably is that my son recently put out a video on the post-fight video of the Lubin and Fundora fight on his channel on True School Sports. He said that he would like to see Tim Tszyu fight Fundora. That would be a great fight. 154, why not? You know what I mean? And Fundora's young, hungry cat. He's willing to fight anybody. So, you got to be happy with that. You got to be able to say to yourself, you know what, Fundora. I mean, he proved tonight what he's supposed to do. He shut up Lubin, and he did it in dramatic fashion. And he also faced adversity at the time. You know what I mean? And then you had the fight with another fight that was on the card that I really like a lot. I like him a lot, but he's real is Tony Harrison Jr. Tony Harrison Jr. was a beast. He's a beast. He don't take it for nobody. I think sometimes he loses focus when he's fighting, but if he stays focused and be careful, it would be good. But he did get a good UD decision over Sergio Garcia, who was coming in as being a hard puncher, and Harrison went in there and did his job and got the win. So now Harrison is looking for bigger and better fights. So shout out to him. I really like that a lot. I like the fact that Harrison came out and got the win. Fought a tough opponent, and now he can move on, probably get some better fights down the road. So I was happy about that also, seeing that. And then on the same card, we had Brian Peralta fighting the New Mexican guy that came up. I forgot his name, and he came in there, and Brian. It was a split decision. Nobody wanted to fight. That was kind of crazy because Brian had just fought Pearl. I mean, Brian had just fought against Harrison, and he got a good gift position there. And now, now he's got to go ahead and regroup again and go back to his gym. So we'll see what's going to happen with Brian Peralta. And then the Top Rank. The only thing that I like about Top Rank was the only one that I like was Michaela Meyer coming out and getting her win. She called out the winner of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, and she also wants Alicia Baumgart. So y'all better watch on 130 for the women's division. It's going to be real good, and I could see Meyer coming in there and causing a lot of damage on that. So that was a good win for that. And then there was also another fight. I want to get to the lightweights afterwards, but I'm going to talk about a little bit of the lightweights. I also like the fact that so we had a good another fight that nobody's really talking about that I thought I was very impressed was the win for Mosley Jr. fighting the Puerto Rican fighter Gabe Rosario, who I thought had a great resume. Was a bigger fighter going into the fight. He was a natural weight at 168, fighting a 160 pounder that came up to fight on Mosley Jr. And let me tell you, man, Mosley Jr. impressed me a lot. He doesn't have a lot of power in his punches, but he didn't waste no energy. He won on points, but I mean, he actually got in there and tired out the old man, Gabe Rosario, and in the later rounds, he just got a decision over Gabe Rosario. I mean, Rosado, not Rosario, Rosado. And Rosado, he looked tired of everything. I kind of knew that Gabe had to go in there and take him out in the first couple of rounds because I knew down the road he was going to get winded and get tired, and he wouldn't have enough energy towards the end of the fight against a fighter like Mosley Jr. So shout out to him. Now he can move up. He's good on his resume. He doesn't have just a quickly fight on him, and I'm just happy the fact that he came out there and did it. I wanted Gabe Rosado to win, of course. I thought he was a more experienced fighter. His resume is a lot better. And now just think how Mosley feels that by defeating Gabe Rosado, it makes his resume looks better. And I mean, I personally think he should just stay at 160. Don't go up to 168 because I don't think 168 is good for you. You don't have enough power. You're not as big. I'm not saying anything. You got to win yesterday, but I just think that for you, you need to go ahead and just stay in the 160 down and just stay in that weight class, because if you come up, you're gonna have problems. You don't have enough power, and a bigger fighter that Benavidez or somebody else will definitely tear you up. But shout out to you. You got the win. I don't know. I don't hear much people talking about that, so I was happy you got it. And I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see fighters like that get opportunity. I thought Gabe Rosado was going to beat the fuck out of him because he was big, strong, you name it, he was, and nothing at all. So it is what it is. This is what we call boxing, and you know, we can see what's going on. We'll see what's going to ultimately going to happen with that. And then there was a fight in the lightweights in the lightweight division, bantamweight division that I like, that also somebody else won that I really like a lot, or that I heard about that I wanted to bring up in the live tonight. And it was the fight with Ayala. Hold on, let me get it right now. And it was a good fight to see somebody else be able to go in there and win and to get his impressive win. Actually, boxing scene actually reported on it, so I'll go a little bit into it. What's going on, Sly Tennessee's? What's going on, man? Just talking a little boxing, just reviewing the fights from yesterday. What are your opinion on the Gennady Golovkin, the Fundora Lubin fight, the Tony Harrison Sergio Garcia fight, Michaela Maia winning another fight at top rank. What other fights were on? All the fights that were on yesterday were pretty good. So I would like to hear you guys point. He said, Gabe said, Sly says, oh, hold on, guys. I wish, okay, hold on. I was shook Gabe went out like that, but he's a warrior. Yeah, he's a warrior, but I thought, I mean, if you see the fight from the beginning with Mosley Jr., and I'll be honest with you, Gabe looked huge, man. He was his natural 168 in front of Mosley Jr., and I thought he was going to go in there the first a couple of rounds and just dominate, but Mosley Jr. came in there and used to get a good game plan, waited for Gabe to get tired. And you know, won on points. Respect to him. It's his best one on his resume. Why not? So I'm with you on that one for sure. Yeah. So and there was some other fights on that were good. The Lubin Fundora fight. Wow. Both of them were knocked down. They got back out. They battled back and forth. That was a warrior fight right there. Fundora showed me a lot. For Lubin's got to go regroup. I'm glad his trainer threw in the towel and literally, he did what he was supposed to do, threw in that towel, and he knew that Lubin was getting a beating of his life. So if Lubin's wishing to get a rematch with Jamal Charlo, he can forget about that. His dreams will flush down the toilet after Fundora finished up with him. And that's no disrespect to Lubin. That's just the reality of it. Fundora came in there and took care of Lubin. I see Fundora now he's got to be, tagged as one of the top fighters in the 154 division, still young, still hungry. I don't think he's ready for Jamal Charlo. He says he's willing to take that fight. I don't think so, because Jamal Charlo is a bigger dog, and I think Jamal Charlo is not a Lubin. The skills, there's levels to boxing. I think if he was to fight Jamal Charlo, I think Charlo would beat the fuck out of Fundora, but that's just my opinion. But the fight that I would like to see that my son put out one of the videos recently is the one I would love to see Fundora fight Tim Tszyu. I think that would be a great fight. And Tim Tszyu is another fighter that just came to the U.S., and he's willing to fight anybody. So, yeah, so I'm happy for that too. So, I mean, there's a lot of fights going. Tony Harrison won. I was happy about that. He came out there and won. I was surprised that Brian Peralta didn't get a decision in the fight with the Mexican fighter that he fought. I thought after he lost to he came out the win against Harrison, and I thought that he was going to do something, but he didn't. So it is what it is. We'll take it for what it is. Golovkin, already knew what Golovkin did. He beat up Murata. I mean, he got the win and everything. He took his belt from him, so no, you can't say he's not the best in middleweight right now. And but I still think, in my opinion, Golovkin's old. I don't think he's the same Golovkin that was there a few years back, and I don't think that when he fights Canelo, he's going to beat Canelo either. That's just my own opinion, decision on that. I want to talk also about I want to also talk about the lightweight division. I think it was there was a fight on that I wanted to show that we're talking about that I didn't talk much about, but I'm going to talk about it now. Let me get back here. That I want to talk about it. Yeah, I want to talk about this fight right here. Let me get it right here. Okay. It's a fight that I thought very interesting. I thought he won. Let's see if I can get it now. Oh, Ryan Garcia won. What do you guys thought about the Ryan Garcia fight? How did I forget that one? How can I forget that one? Fundora is a beast. I thought Gigi looked decent, but he definitely showed his age. His shot resistance is catching up with him. I worry what can. Yeah, good point. I said the same thing. I really said the same thing about that fight. That I came out and said that that Gigi, when I seen him, I knew it's not the same Gigi of old, you know, of 2 years or maybe 3 years ago. And I think if he goes against Canelo, I think Canelo's gonna. I'll be honest, he's gonna steamroll him. I don't think he's gonna. I think he always. The only chance I see him having is that power shot, you know. But he did win the belt for Murata. Now he's a middleweight champion again with 2 belts. So got to give respect to that and see what happens when he goes from there. But I don't think he's gonna beat Canelo. No way. Not the way he fought. The way he's fighting. And you're right what you're saying. His shot resistance was not really that good at all. So I mean, he just got that one power shot that he got, and that's all. So yeah. What's another thing I wanted to get here that I was looking at that I wanted to tell you guys about? Let's see what I'm gonna find now. Yeah. So what do you guys think about Ryan Garcia? You already gave some respect to Emmanuel Tago. Tago was Garcia. I'm not saying he was supposed to go in there and dominate that fight, but Ryan Garcia went in there, bro, and he had to go 12 rounds. I mean, Tago was not even probably the favorite to win this fight, and I'm sure a lot of people bet on hoping that Ryan Garcia was going to get a knockout. He couldn't. Garcia did good, but he couldn't cut the ring enough to get Tago in the corner and go for the KO. And I also think that he didn't distance himself enough to throw straight shots at Tago. And you got to give credit to Tago. Tago was smart. He smothered them when he had to smother them. He kept movement, and that caused a lot of problems. But for him being back on the first time being back, fighting after a ring rust and everything, shout out to him. I think he's going to get better. I think his coach came out and said that he was not going to have Joe Gooser came out and said he's not going to fight Tank Davis right away. They're going to have to do some film study because he even said that he expected or thought that Garcia was going to put Tago away by the 9th round, and he didn't even do that. So he sees there's still a lot of work that he has to do with Ryan Garcia. He realizes that he's going to go back into the movie room and show Ryan Garcia what he's got to get improved on. And at the same time, you got to give credit to Ryan Garcia because Ryan Garcia came out and said, hey, it was a great fight. I was going for the knockout, obviously, but I couldn't get it done because Tago fought a smart fight and he kept moving. He kept smothering. He did what he was supposed to do. So he also realized that he himself called it out. And in post-interview, he says, I did not cut the ring enough to be able to go ahead and go ahead and go for the knockout punch. So he realized he's got to do some work on, get better. What he's got to get better for his craft before he fights any top quality fights, because he better not go around Tank. Because if that would have been a Tank in a Garcia fight, it could have been a good night for Garcia. But kudos to him. I realized that. He also realized what I like about Garcia, and the media always don't give him credit. Last time they didn't give him credit. He was calling out a lot of fighters, and then he would pull out of fights. When they try to ask him in the post fight if he was able to go ahead and who's going to call next, he said, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that no more. I don't want that from you guys. And they said what I said, what I did, what contradicting me. This, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let my team choose my fighters, and I'm going to fight who I have to fight. So I like that about him. That way, there's no more, Ryan Garcia calling out somebody and I fight him. So I seen a lot of maturity in Ryan Garcia. And I honestly think working with Goosen, he was in the high guard a lot. I like the fact that Goosen and him are working a team together, and we need to watch out for him. Chris Andre Barker said, for Gigi to have a chance against Canelo, he would have to just go full out immediately, make it a 6-round fight and hope to break something. Basically, he only has a puncher's chance at this stage. I'm with you on that one. Because I don't think he's not the same Gigi that was was there 2 or 3 years ago. He's got that powers chance. That's why I helped him win against Murata. Murata fought him for good 5 rounds, but then after that, he simply broke him down. But I totally agree 100% with you, Chris. Thank you. Not online, you please hit that like button if you haven't. Thank you for being here. Ryan needs more time with Joe to get his feet wet. His inactivity has hurt his ring IQ, but he still took over. Tago was definitely a game. Man, yeah, you got to give respect to that Ghanaian fighter, man. He came from, Nelson came from his country. Kowani came from his country. He looked short, a lot shorter to Ryan. Ryan, through the whole fight, was like the predator who had his prey right where he wanted him, but he just couldn't finish the fight. And for Tago to go 12 rounds to him, you got to put respect on his name. And then Ghanaian boxing because of what he did. Shout out to him. I think Ryan needs more movement too. He just don't need to come forward like he was coming forward, moving around. He needs to get more foot movement, I think, and try to improve on his craft a lot more than just coming forward against all the fighters because that's not going to work against him. Johnny Barber says, Gigi looked good and bad at the same time, in my opinion. I cannot see him beating Canelo based on how he... No, me either. I could not see that. He came in there, he did everything right. At the end of the fight, he went and approached Murata, and they got along real good, which I respected that. But as far as the fight, he didn't show me anything that he hasn't shown me in the last 2 years, where I've been saying that a lot of his skills has been dwindling, and it's no different now. Slide says, that's why I worry about Chris Andre boxing. I worry about Murata almost took him out in the first. He's had to have a massive shot early. Yeah, Murata was going to that body. He was actually countering a lot of shots that Golovkin was throwing. So it could have happened. But for Murata, I think once Golovkin started going to that body more and hit him with them hard punches, he couldn't handle it. Johnny Gigi has been a fantastic. Yeah, he has. All due respect to him. I mean, at 40 years old. I was watching another channel that's a big fan of him, that Johnny Boxing, and he was saying that, 40 years old, you got to still give credit to Gigi because he went in there and unified, and he's at the middleweight division by winning the belt from Murata. So, 40 years old, that was good, but what he did against Murata, it's not going to work against Canelo. Canelo right now is at the top of his game, and like I was saying earlier, for me, Canelo was saying that if Gigi would have lost to Murata, he was willing to fight, or he said he supposedly wanted to fight the winner of Joe Smith and beat him. And for me, that would have been good. That's a smart move to do because he's already at 175. Why wouldn't you want to fight the next top dog at 175 and then move down to whatever? And if he would have that, if he does that, man, he's gonna get my respect because and doing it with no catchweight, nothing, I would love to see that. As always, I say on my own channel, the only fighter that is truly undisputed is Father Time. That's right. And anything you do, outside the ring and inside the ring, when you're young and you think you can do all kinds of things, at the 20s and the 30s, 40 comes up and you get broken down, you're like, damn, I can't do these things. So you're right about that. Once Father Time catches up to you, it doesn't matter what you have here or in your head or in your heart. You don't have the same skills that you had. Your skills get dwindled, and that's what I think happened with Golovkin. I think Golovkin went in there and didn't do, he doesn't have the same stamina. He doesn't have the same movement that he had before. And I don't see the same, to be honest with you, I don't see the same confidence in him that I seen from him before. So he's going to be in a lot of trouble with Canelo. The only good fight thing with that, he'll get his $18 million payday and he can go into the sunset. All 11, you please hit that like button if you haven't. So I was happy for that. What do you guys think about Fundora? You think Fundora can fight the top dogs at 154? You think that happen? The top dogs at 154. What do you think about him? What he did? I don't think he wanted to talk about fighting Jamal Charlo. He's not even going to Jamal Charlo right now. He's good. I'm telling you right now, Jamal Charlo is in a different level than Lubin. He will tear him up, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying the reality of it, that what I seen. Okay, there was a fight last night on the flyweights. I wanted to get to talk about the flyweights and the other weights. We talked about them. WBC World Championship. Ali became the official challenger for the WBC Flyweight World Championship by clearly and convincingly beating a former world champion from Nicaragua, Christopher Latigo Rosales in the main event card. Yeah, so Christopher, Alaya came in there and beat a Nicaraguan fighter that was an ex-champion and proved it. Now he's had opportunity for that. Side he says, Fundora got off the deck and stopped with tons of heart. Yeah, man, he got back up and did what he had to do. He's a young, hungry fighter. He came out responding. Look at the beating he put on Lubin. Look at his face, man. I was like, wow. So he's got some power. Tony Harrison came on. I'm not talking about Caleb Plant said that big boy got some pop. If Caleb Plant's telling you he got some pop, he got some pop. It says, I still think, let me get this thing out. I still think Charlo would put him on his head. Yeah. Charlo beat him to no. That's what I'm saying. There's different levels to that. Charlo will beat the shit out of him. I ain't gonna lie. Charlo's on a different level than Lubin. Lubin, to me, can forget about the rematch. Wait, Charlo, that's not gonna happen again. He needs you to go on in there humbly, fight whoever he's got to fight. And there's levels to boxing, and good luck to him. I mean, you're seeing a lot of fighters give him the support and everything, but the reality, he got his ass whooped by a taller, rangy fighter like Fundora, and you got to put respect in Fundora's name. Simple as that. There's no line about that. Yeah, so Alaya, Angel, Chameleon, Ayala becomes the official challenger for the WBC Flyweight World Championship. So that's good news. In the flyweight division, we don't hear much from that. He beat a ex-champion in Christopher Rosales. He beat him down, and he got the win. So I'm happy to hear that. So I just wanted to get into that and tell you guys that Donier, and that's a very exciting fight that I'm looking forward to. Donier and Monster Inoue, that's going to be a great fight. And I was actually looking at all the box records. I wanted to see, in the bantamweight, see in flyweights and bantamweights what they have out there, who's talented enough for who, and we could open it up with that also. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. In the flyweight division, I'm going to tell you straight up. Let me go ahead here. Flyweight, I had everything here set, and then I came off, so give me a second. The flyweight rankings. We can talk about little flyweights here. The flyweight rankings, man. You got some fighters in there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some good fighters in there that I really like. I think they're gonna be competitive. And I'm gonna tell you right now. It's coming. I'm putting right now the flyweight, and we could talk about that. There's a lot of in the flyweight division that I really like. I like. The rankings in the Ring magazine, they got Martinez, 18-2. Martinez was one of recently fought Chocolatito. Fundora is a very good inside fighter, but for such a big man, he doesn't maintain range well at all. If he can develop that aspect of his game too, he'll be a monster. Yeah, he's got a you're right. I always say that about tall fighters. They got to use that range to their advantage and their height. And because he likes to come, you're right about that. He likes to come forward and close in the gap when he shouldn't do that. He should use his range to his advantage and make it harder for his opponent to throw his jab or to even land the jab towards him. So you got a point there for sure. Yeah, in the flyweight division, you got Martinez who fought Chocolatito just recently. You know what I mean? That guy's a good fighter. You got Nakatani, another beast that fought. You got Sonny Edwards. You got Delican, Sanadol, Methalane. I don't know if you guys know these guys. Rosales. I think that's the guy he just fought. He just fought and lost last night. Ayala beat him. You got Arroyo, who I like. Yamachuki, whatever his name is. So you got a lot of lightweights in here that are actually big. I'm a big fan of Edwards. I think Edwards is good. I think he's a very defensive, quick-minded fighter that could do some damage. Martinez, to me, he can go down and fight. He can go ahead and fight Nakatani and see what he can do with him. I think Nakatani just fought this weekend, so I like to see that. His ranking, Rosales is good. Arroyo, the Puerto Rican. I think he can do good. Junto Nakatani is a beast, though, man. Whoever gets in there with Junto Nakatani better watch out because he's coming. He's 23-0. You got Sandoval. I think that's a Mexican that just won 20-1. Yamaguchi, who got beat the shit out of Nakatani just recently, beat down Tanopo. I'm talking about the flyweight division. You got Gonzalez, you got Labranza, you got Campos, Acosta, Wasim Rahim. So you got some monsters in there, and I want to see more fighting. Let me see what Chris Andre says. Well, to all of you, please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Sonny Edwards is real skill, a great mover, very slick. Yeah, my son was telling me about him for the longest time. I just watched his last fight with Wasim Rahim. What's it with Wasim Rahim from what's he for the Palestinian? I think he was. And I thought that Wasim Rahim actually was landing a lot of punches and everything. My son said no, he makes it look that way, but he actually is very slick and a great mover, and that's what makes him good at what he does. So watch out for him. I think he's coming. I think he wants the big fights too. So I'm really I want to see what he's got, what he's got to do. Sonny Edwards, he's also 18-0. Like him a lot. I think the only thing I don't like is with Pro Bellum. I don't think Pro Bellum's going to do a lot good for him. I guess he was with Eddie Hearns before. I think he should have stayed with Eddie Hearns. I think he had a better chance of getting the good fights. Eddie Hearns now got Bam Bam Rodriguez, and I just think that Pro Bellum, I don't think he's going to do a lot for him, but shout to him. The WBC rankings for the featherweights are Julio Cesar Martinez, the guy that fought. We know who he fought already. McVilliers Arroyos, who I was saying, I don't think Arroyo should be up to second. Hell no way, man. Hell no. He's falling down some, so you got to call it the way you call it. You know what I'm saying? Flight ranking, WBA, who's the WBA got a Team Delankian. He's 21-0. I don't know where he's from. He seems to be he's 21-0 for a reason. Got Jimenez, Ramucci, Abodaro, Concepcion. Okay, Rosales. I think he just lost yesterday. So yeah, there's a lot of lightweight fighters out here that they're gonna make some. I think they're gonna make some. Big things. You had Esparza fighting Marlene Esparza on the women's side of the thing. She actually fought the only 5-division champion in Japan in the women's boxing, Fujioka, and Fujioka came out and won and gave Esparza a run for her money. I mean, she really challenged Esparza. Esparza just barely squeaked the win, but she got the belt from this. She got the Ring Magazine belt. She got the I think it was a WBA belt for her also. So she got 3 belts. And what I didn't like about Marlene Esparza, she talks all this shit about Sinisa Superbad Estrada. And yes, on this channel we talk about her all the time. But when she was there on ringside commentating, she couldn't even call her out. So that showed me when they meet again, it's like Sinisa Superbad said, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take all your belts from you, and I believe that, for sure. Okay, I went to the balance. Let me go to bantamweight. Because the bantamweight's got some monster. You already know I'm good with that one. There's some fights there too that I really want to see. So yeah, you guys just let me know if you're following in right now. Let me know what you thought about the fights yesterday. Let me know what you thought about them. Who you think should be next for those fighters? And 154. Okay, 154 now is going to be probably one of the divisions that look good. We got we seen what Fundora did. What do you think about that? What do you think about Lubin? Where he's got to go from there? Great call on Cunningham doing that. You seen Ryan Garcia? What do you think he should do now? He got his first win back after being out for so long. I think they're making him and Gusa makes a great team. So I'm really happy about that. Look at the bantamweight. It's got some monsters in here, man. Bantamweight division, it's got some freaking monsters in here. I can't wait to see what let me see what they got here. I actually like to go. I like the Ring Magazine. Their rankings is what I like, to be honest. But they got Lee Wood. Don't forget about him. Okay, we're gonna go there first. No, we ain't going. We're going to bantamweight. We went to flyweight. No, what is that? Flyweight, junior bantamweight, 118 pounds. I like this right here. See what they're gonna show me. Bantamweight. You got Inoue, the monster, man. Inoue, the monster. He got the ring, IBF, and WBA belt. And you know who he fighting? He fighting Donaire. Donaire ain't no joke, boy. Donaire's a legend, man. I like them both. I think it's a rematch from a couple of years ago. That's Donaire having enough power to beat the monster again? I don't know. He's got the WBC belt, the Nito Donaire. That's going to be a fight that's going to happen. I can't wait for that. Then you got João Real Casimiro, the guy that had an impressive win against Rigondo. Manuel Rodriguez from Puerto Rico. You know I like him. Rodriguez ain't no joke. Nordino Abali, another one that looks good. Jason Maloney just got a win last night, so that's good for the Maloney brothers from Australia. Shout out to them. Takuma Inoue, 15-1. Rasheed Warren. Gary Antonio Russell, man. He ain't no joke. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of fights in the lightweight division also that I want to see. And the most recent one that we've seen was with Donaire and Inoue that's coming up. We got the Ugas Spence fight be coming up weeks away. What do you guys think about that? I think Ugas is gonna give Spence something. I don't know how Spence is gonna come out. I think Spence, like I've been saying, I don't know which Spence is gonna show up. He looked good in the mitts and everything, but that's still not telling me a lot. I do want the fight because I want Crawford to beat the shit out of what's his name for sure, to beat him down to a pole. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want Crawford to beat him down to a pole. Either Crawford's gonna beat him to a pole, or Crawford's gonna go to 154 and challenge Jamal Charlo. That's what's gonna happen there. You know, that's what's gonna happen there for sure. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I want to see from there. Let's see what we got here. And I want to see Wilder come back, man. I don't know when he's going to come back. I think he's going to do a lot for the heavyweight division when he comes back. Want to see what he's going to do. Want to see what's going to happen. I don't even know if Ruiz Jr. is going to fight Chisora. I'm not really excited about that. I don't know why he would take a fight like that, but he didn't want to fight Philip Hergovic, but he wanted to fight Chisora. So I'm not really happy about that. Dylan White's going to get wiped off the floor by Tyson Fury. I promise you that. That's going to happen to him. Joseph Parker, he made his money. Get out, man. He never dominates his fight. Fucking piece of shit. If you ask me, he don't impress me. Joseph Parker does not impress me with his wins. Serious. Andy Ruiz Jr., the only great wins he's had was against Anthony Joshua, and he made good money off of that, getting fat off his ass, and now maybe he might fight Chisora. King Kong Ortiz, I would like to see King Kong Ortiz get a fight. I thought Ruiz Jr. would have taken that fight with King Kong. And I was really upset with King Kong because King Kong Ortiz didn't take the fight with Philip Hergovic again. Was pissed off about that. What's up, Milky? How you doing, man? People, Fundora. Yeah, people are saying that now. Like he's a weight bully. I don't know how you can say that when he's making 154 and he's just a big, tall, lanky fighter with some power. Are you saying, Milky Way, that he weighs more for that, the 154, that he should go to 160 or 168? I don't think he's a weight bully. I think 154, he's making the weight, he's doing his thing, and he beat Lubin straight up. He beat the shit out of Lubin. Lubin was to go in there, and I said it before, Lubin was chinny. Lubin didn't knock him out, so whatever you did to knock him out the first time, you should continue doing that game plan. I didn't get to see the fights because I was doing the zone, but you got to give credit for him. He got back up and beat Lubin. Lubin obviously wanted to beat Fundora so he can get out, become the WBC interim champion or whatever his title, mandatory, whatever it's called, so he can be able to go ahead and fight a rematch with Jamal Charlo. But that's not happening no more. So I'm not going to call him a weight bully. I think you have to say a weight bully. A lot of people always say that David Benavidez is a weight bully because he actually walks around on 175, but he can barely make 168. But when they put him up at 175, Benavidez didn't want to stay there. You could say something like that, but I don't think this guy is like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he should be light heavyweight if he's not. I think if he's not having the trouble making the weight at 154, but it doesn't seem like it. I don't think he's that heavy for that. I really don't think he's you're talking about 170, 168, 175 for him. What's going on? Yo, how you doing, man? Good evening, Pops. Is it me? Ryan seems to be overrated. Why do you think about his new trainer? I'll be honest with you. I think he just can't. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and only because he was off the ring for a while. But even that, supposedly he's supposed to be this fighter that's supposed to be as good as he says he is. He should have dominated Tago, and Tago showed out. Tago had an excellent game plan. Smothered him, can movement, and Ryan Garcia couldn't get a shot. So right now, I like the trainer. I like Goosen. They work good together. What I like about Goosen, and I'm an old school guy, is I like Goosen. He's not a Hall of Fame champion trainer for nothing. He trained Michael Nunn. He had Riddick Bowe. I think he had the Corrales brothers. His whole list goes on and on and on. And what I'm getting at, if he just does he's trying to get the best out of Ryan and letting Ryan be who he is. I'll be honest, if Ryan moves up in level and fights a Tank Davis or anybody in the 135 that's very talented, he's gonna get fucked up. I'll be honest with you. He's got to come out there and show. And yes, he did not show his qualities. He did not overrun Tago out. So you got to shout out to Tago and the Gahanian boxers that he came out and did it. So I totally agree with you, but I do like the trainer. I think the trainer likes to do, like I said, repetitions. I think the trainer, his philosophy is win at all costs. It doesn't have to be just a knockout. But him fighting to the level of Tago, he should have done better. Why do you think about the press conference between Rolly and Tank Davis? You're talking about I loved it. I loved it. Excuse me. I really loved that. I loved it a lot, and I'll tell you why I loved it a lot, because both fighters don't like each other, right? First of all, you got to look at it this way. Tank is angry because he knows he should have been fighting a lot of top fighters at 135 that he should be fighting, and he didn't get those fights because of Mayweather and long-nosed Ellaby not allowing him to fight to his level of competition. So now he's got to sit back. No disrespect to Rolly. Rolly went in there. Rolly's was his mandatory, whatever the case was, and now he's got to fight an awkward fighter in Rolly, and now he's got to prove himself to Rolly. And I think he's going to do that. I think that the contract issue, he's going to stay with PBC Mayweather. He's really frustrated with that. But me personally, if I was Tank, I get the fuck out of Mayweather and Ellaby. I don't care how much money they offer me, and go either become a free agent so I can get the fights that I want, so I can make my legacy of being one of the best fighters and fight the best. So I think he's really upset about that. I love the press conference because they were both going back at it, and I like what Tank told Rolly to his face. He said, "You can talk all that shit in social media, but you ain't doing shit now right in front of your face." And Rolly came back and said, "I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." So I mean, they both have hate for each other. I expect Tank to win the fight, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think, because I think Rolly brings an awkwardness to him, but he also has some power with his hands. But I think Tank wants to make a big statement. I hope he doesn't stay with LOB and them. And I was watching a Tim Bradley interview on Fight Hype or Fight Hub TV. They were talking about Tim Bradley, what he thought about. One of the reporters asked him, what do you thought about him, the contractual issues with Mayweather and Ellaby, and Tim Bradley came out and just basically said, like, hey, you know what? You had a chance to do this. You had a chance. You're better off getting a chance if you become a free agent. If you become a free agent, you got a better chance of going in there and getting the fights you want and doing what you want for yourself, set you up. So we only have to see what he does. Why is Tank keeping using street words in boxing? It's unfair. Because what happened is, what he was saying, he's trying to let because what's happening is uh, Rolly was getting under his skin. Rolly said, "What are you talking about? All you do is fight." Because during the press conference, Tank made a comment saying that he fought 140. So he thought that was a big deal because Rolly hasn't fought 140. So then Rolly came back and said to him, 140? Are you serious? The guy was in the freaking tub for 6 hours on ice, icing down and trying to make the weight because he couldn't make the weight himself. So basically, that got underneath Tank's skin because practically Rolly contradicted and called him out on that. So basically was saying, don't say you fought at 140 when you really didn't. So get that shit out of here. So I don't think that was that. So then they asked Tank and Rolly, is this personal, professional? And then that's when Tank said, well, if it was personal, this one will be right here. I'll be at his house already. This is business. Whether it's right or not, that's what your product of your environment. You're part of environment. Tank from Baltimore, from the streets in Baltimore. He ain't gonna sit back and say what we gotta do. But if you're gonna call him out, he's gonna let you know. Look what happened with Tony Harrison and Luis Arias in their press conference when Harrison was having a press conference with Sergio Garcia for this past weekend's fights. Luis Harrison calling him out. What did Tony Harrison do? He put his shit down, get off the stage, and went after him. That's the street, man. Not a rumor. Gabriel says not a rumor is that Tank Davis singing with Floyd Mayweather. You hear of this? Signing. I don't know, man. I don't want him to sign one. I'll be honest with you. I think it's the biggest mistake he does. Floyd doesn't really care about you. People say, oh yeah, Floyd did this, did that, put his value in. No, Floyd didn't get the best out of him because he didn't put him with the best fights. So I mean. Floyd has an ego problem. He's great what he did when he was boxing. He's great what he did outside the ring, being a shoe partner. But as an ego, he wants all the attention to himself. And anytime Tank gets any attention to him, he wants to shut the light off for him, which I don't really like. So I think it's time. Tank was sounding off in the press conference that he was manning up, that he was going to do this, he's going to do that. So we'll find out what he does. If he stays with them, his career is done, in my opinion. Milky Way says Tony Harrison is a one-hit wonder. Yeah, but I mean, that being said, Tony Harris, the thing about Tony Harris is he loses focuses on his fight. Other than that, I think that, he's formidable at 154. He's not a fight. I don't think he's not afraid to fight anybody. But then again, I might backtrack that because literally he went. He didn't want to fight Team Zoo when they had the big pandemic in Australia, right? But then he just came out on Fight Hype, I think it was, or Fight Hype, whatever which one was. And he was saying in the interview that, yeah, I want to make that fight with Tim Tszyu, whether it's here, Australia, I need a vacation. So he totally contradicted himself. He turned the fight down when he could have gone to Australia and fight him the first time, and now he wants to fight now. Now he wants to fight Tim Tszyu now. Get out of here. But I will say he'll take fights on anyone. I don't think he wants to wait for anybody. Yeah, so that as far as Tony Harris, but he's coming out saying he wants to fight this guy. Get out of here. You want to fight this guy. First you didn't want to fight the guy, and then you want to fight the guy. Which one is it? You can't just sit back and say one thing and say another, It's either one or the other. Simple as that. You can't sit back and say you're going to fight this fighter, and then you turn it down because you didn't want to fight the guy, and then when you get a chance to fight the guy, you saying you want to fight him now when you turned it down. Which one is it? Is it because you've seen Tim Tszyu fight and you've seen holes in Tim Tszyu's arsenal? Don't get it twisted. Tim Tszyu is his first fight in the U.S., Tony Harrison. I like you and all, but I like Tim Tszyu. I like what he brings. He's old school too, so I think he can bring it to you. You just don't know. But, I mean, you contradict yourself. You didn't want to go to the fight. Now you want to go to the fight. Get out of here. So if it was me, I wouldn't fight Tim Tszyu. I mean, I wouldn't fight him because you turned it down, and then now you call me you want to fight now. I wouldn't fight you now. Not even in my homeland. Now you're gonna have to wait until the time comes for you to do that. That's just my own opinion on that. That's why I say that. Tim Tszyu should. I mean, he should have fought Tim Tszyu when Tim Tszyu told him. When Tim Tszyu told him, like, yeah, you had a chance to fight me. You didn't want to fight me, and now you want to call me out because you want a big payday or whatever the case may be. Ridiculous. If you ask me, it's very ridiculous. So Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You can't be doing that, man. You can't be sitting back saying you want these fights and then you don't want the fights, then you want the fights. It's either one or the other, you know? It's ridiculous. It really is when it comes to that. We know Uga's fight's going to come out with Spence. We got the Inoue fight with Donaire. There's a lot of fights coming up, guys, and I'm just waiting for all to come out. That's what I'm here for, to talk about boxing, and you guys can chime in if you have anything else to say. Okay, wait, say, look what he says. Do you think Fury cheated against Wilder? Was no, not even not once in my mind that coming across me. I don't think so. No. I mean, if you watched that when Wilder came out right before that I think the night of the fight before, they had the commissioners literally cut gloves up because whatever material they had, whether it was hair or horse hair, whatever the case was, and they actually, the commission opened everything, did everything Wilder said. So no, I think it was just a fabricated stuff by some other channels here on YouTube. I'm not going to say the names that are actually on the PBC. And they literally go ahead and fabricate anything, fabricate all kinds of shit against Fury without having the actual facts. So no, I don't believe Wilder Fury cheated again. What Fury did was beat the fuck out of Wilder and humble the PBC, the LDBC, and humble Wilder. That's what he did do. He beat them all down to a pole. They can say whatever they want, but they can't argue the point that Fury won all the fights. Or you could say two out of three, but he still beat the hell out of him. And that last beating he got was a beat down by Fury. So I like Wilder. I think Wilder plays a big important part in the division. I still think that he could still come out there. He's got that one punch power, and I think that he can make a difference in the heavyweight division. I just don't think that you have to go fabricate or make up all this kinds of bullshit against your opponent when you have the power to take care of that, and you didn't do that. So when I seen Fury beat the fuck out of Wilder, it just shut all the narratives that the LDBC had, in my opinion. It shut everything about Wilder, everything. And Wilder got humbled. He realized that, and they moved on for that. So that's what everybody else got to do. Leave the Fury shit going. Leave the Wilder shit go. It's in the past. Fury beat him. At least you could argue maybe Wilder won the first one, but the 2 out of the 3, he didn't beat him. The last one, he definitely didn't beat him. He got fucked up. He put up a great fight. Don't get me wrong. That's a war. He put up a great fight. I mean, for him to get in there and fight and still got up from all the punches and everything, and he also knocked Fury down. And Fury getting back up. It was one of the greatest fights. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm glad that Fury finished it off. It's history now. LDBC can't say shit about that narrative anymore. It's done. Do you think Virgil Ortiz is ducking Jaron Ennis? I don't think so. I think Jaron Ortiz, right now, the fight he was supposed to fight McKinnon on the last undercard. Well, he was supposed to be the main event because he couldn't make weight. I think he's a big dude. He walks around. I think what is it? 130? What was it? 147? I think he go up to 154. He's a big dude. So I don't think so. I don't think he's ducking Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis got to go. Also, he got a fight coming up with Clayton. That's not going to be an easy fight for Jaron Ennis. But I also will say that Ortiz once he gets get his health back and start making the weight again, I think he just move up and get out of the 147 if he can't make the weight anymore, because it's only going to hurt his health and it's not worth it. But that being said, that's a fight that's going to happen in the future. It'll be a great fight. I like Ortiz. I'm a big fan of Ortiz. A lot of people like Ennis, but Ennis got to prove himself. I mean, he's a lot more skillful. He got a lot more. He seems a lot more skillful than Ortiz. But I'm a big fan of Ortiz, and I'm gonna ride with Ortiz when that fight happens. I'm not a fan of boxing showing the kids on Showtime channel. What do you think? I don't know what happened there. I don't know what you're talking about. I did see on the zone they had Marlene's little 3-year-old come out and onto the ring after she won the fight. But hey, man, people do what they want with their kids. We can't tell professionals what to do. We watch it in the NBA finals when the players have their post press conference after they win the championship, whatever. The kids are there. You got Spence with his kids, using him as a motivator in the gym. He's not teaching them violence. He's just teaching them how to work, how to do. And let's be honest, kids at that age don't know what actually is happening in the in the ring unless you actually want to teach them violence, teach them what's going on. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I think you use it to motivate, motivation for the professionals, and it's good to be. It's also a good thing to get that bond with a father or mother that doesn't have time to be at home all the time, so you have to take them to work with you. That's my opinion on that. Let me see. I was gonna look at the rankings. Back to the rankings. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna stay long because I don't see a lot of people here tonight. No need for me to continue on. If nobody's gonna be here, I get it. It's Sunday. I just wanted to come on here and talk about the fights that happened. That happened this past weekend. Get your thoughts on that. And I see that it's Sunday. People don't really want to talk about a lot of things. So I'm not gonna sit here and make a rabbit out of a hat, come out of a hat when I can't. So. But I mean, thank you guys, and I'm going to be here for a few more minutes, and unless it picks up, and we'll go from there. Let me see. That's like I said, the lightweight. Yeah, Noe, Donaire is a big fight coming up. Abali, I like Emmanuel Rodriguez. I like Ringador. I think should retire. I think Ringador is done. Yeah, Connor's done his thing. Connor's went in there and literally, he's an accomplished Olympian. He's done a lot in boxing in the UK. He just got his ass beat by Kell Brook. Con, you could say he's overrated, but I mean, he's also had some good times where he actually had his prime in Olympics where he did accomplish a lot of things. All that overrated shit don't mean nothing because the guy that beat the shit out of him was Kell Brook, and he's still in boxing. He still hasn't left boxing. I still with Ben Shalom, a boxer, and Ben Shalom's going to put him in another fight, tune him up, and they're supposed to have another rematch with Kell Brook. But honestly, I think his time is up. Move on. You had all your accolades already. There's no need for you to continue boxing unless you want to get seriously hurt. Manny Pacquiao seems to be retired, running for president of Philippines. I think it's good, man. Manny, his time came up. I mean, he was really upset. I didn't like his reaction when Ugas beat him. He didn't get inside with Ugas' defense, so you got to give shout out to Ugas. But other than that, I think Manny Pacquiao has given a lot to boxing, and he wanted to go into the limelight and retire and move on and do better things for his country. What better way of doing it than become president of your country? And to be getting the people that love you and back you up. They follow you for 40 or whatever, 25, 30 years in boxing. So why not do more for your country that you already have done? So it's good for him. He's always going to be a legend. He's done. He won eight division or whatever divisions he won. He's done a lot for boxing. So you got to put respect to Manny Pacquiao that a lot of fighters haven't done. And what he's done for his country, brought the light to them. It's good. I think it's best for him to move on and go on. Why sit there and jeopardize injury when you've been there? You've been how many decades? 3 or 4 decades? It's time to move on. So, let me see. Manny Pacquiao, yeah. So that's good. I'm glad he's retired. His son's boxing now, but that don't mean nothing. His son's just, I don't know. I don't think his son's going to be a Pacquiao. He won his first fight or something, but he doesn't have the skills. I don't think Pacquiao wanted him to fight, but hey, let kids go do what they got to do and let them find out for themselves, and that's what he's doing. Let me see. I was talking about the other weight classes because I want to see what else I wanted to talk about. Real quick, anything else? Okay. Paulo says, do you think it's disrespectful that Floyd Mayweather didn't show up to Tank's press? Yeah, but you think Floyd gives a fuck? Floyd don't give a fuck. He's out there, having fun with his life, doesn't care. He's got to have a sour taste in his mouth that probably whatever the talks were between LOB and him and Tank probably came out and started telling the truth. Like, what the hell, man? I should be having these fights. So I think he got a sour taste in his mouth. And if I was Tank Davis, I will move on. I would. I'm trying to make a legacy in my career and fight the best, and you guys are holding me back. Floyd's great and everything, but he wants all the attention on himself. It's an ego thing. And sometimes you got to put that to the side. You've been successful. I mean, he's fighting now. He's fighting some kind of another exhibition fight. And he came out and said, like, hey, the So hit that like button if you guys haven't. I greatly appreciate it. He came out and said that you know, I'm not going back to boxing, but I'm still entitled to make more, you know, money make some more money. Why not? So I mean, he's still doing exhibition fights. I don't think you should hate on Tank, but I think Tank is right. Whatever he said, he's growing up, and probably let him know how he feels. How can you sit here and say I'm your prodigy or the best fighter that I am for you, but you're not putting me with the best fighters, and now I got to sit back and take these fights because I couldn't have taken the fight probably with Lomachenko whenever the time before he went to the war, or with Cambosis, or whatever the case, or with David Haney, or with Garcia, but I'm not getting these fights, so this is what happens. So it was disrespectful. Do you think that the Earl and Crawford fight is going to happen next after the interview with Spence? I don't know. I don't really know. I'm really like tired with that. I think I really want it to happen. That's the only reason I'm pulling for Spence to beat Ugas, because I can see Crawford going in and beat his ass. But I don't think it's going to happen right away. I think Al Heyman's going to keep milking for as long as he can. And if anything, it's probably going to be one time to keep them fighting Spence, even though Spence came out and said that, I'm going to try to make that fight. We'll find out. Spence says all kinds of shit, but when it comes down to it, and when he had a chance to get it with Crawford, he didn't get it done. So he's the one that came with that bullshit with across the street and blah, blah, and all this shit. So until I see his actions, I won't know. I personally think it's not going to happen. I think it's a bunch of talk. And then we don't know how he's going to come out and fight with Ugas. He's been out of the ring for a while. Yeah, he's training great with Derek James. Shout out to him. And he's doing everything, and he looked good in the mid-work, but that don't mean shit. You've been out for a while. You're going to have ring rust. Apollo says, what would be a match you would be dying to see? In this era right now, I like to see, I'll tell you, let me see, offhand, I want Canelo. I'm honest, man. I've been in this channel. We've been talking about Boo Andre. I would like Canelo to fight Boo Andre. I want Canelo. That's the fight I want to see. I want Boo Andre to get his respect from anybody. But that one. But really, I like Benavidez and Canelo. I want to see Benavidez and Canelo. I think Benavidez will beat the shit out of Canelo. I've been preaching that for a long time. I tell my son that. My son don't want to believe it. You know, and then I want to see Virgil Ortiz and Ennis. I say I'm gonna come up both of them. That's gonna be a great when it happens. So this is a lot of fights that I want to see. There's not just one. Like I was telling you, I like to see Wilder. Whether Wilder comes out comes back, I would love him to fight Anthony Joshua. That's one fight that's been in my mind since they both started out here in heavyweight division, and I think that for me, I would love to see that fight. Who is the most overhyped fighter right now? I'm going to say Berlanga, and he's Puerto Rican. I'm going to say that only because Berlanga is, I expected more from him in the ring. I expected him to be undefeated. I expected him to continue doing what he's doing, and they're hyping him up to be something that he's really not going to be. They got to bring him back down, and he's got to make adjustments in his fighting, in his style, to make him better. So to me, that's one of the guys that everybody's hyping up, and he's not coming through. In my opinion, that's the one I see right there. But there's a lot of fighters, you know that. But as far as that, Lomachenko was big with Top Rank, and they were fucking hyping him up. He is talented and everything, and he's done all that, but they've blown him up until Teofimo humbled him and beat him. You know. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just like, who has the best hand speed right now? You gotta look at who's very fast. I like Ryan Garcia, got some good hand speed. You got Shakur Stevens that got good hand speed. I mean, these are young guys that really got some speed in their hands. What's going on, Ben Smith TV? Just talking a little boxing now. Not getting much, nobody coming through, so I might just go off. But I mean, I was just trying to talk about the results from this past weekend's fights, and trying to get what your guys' thoughts were on some of the fights that happened. Who you thought win? What do you think about Gigi? What do you think? Do you think he's washed up? Do you think he still have anything left in him? Or do you think he should just take the $18 million from the fight with Canelo and move on after you've seen what he did to Murata? But that being said, you got to give credit to him. He's one of the best middleweights now because he's got 2 belts. now at age 40. But that being said, I think his skills drained out. I think he's done after Canelo, and he just move on and retire. The Spence Fundora fight was great. I mean, the Fundora and Lubin fight was a great fight, but I think Lubin was wishing to beat Fundora so he can get a rematch with Jamal Charlo. That ain't happening no more. No, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to retire anytime soon. I think no Lubin. He's going to regroup, go back to the drawing board, and try to climb back up. But I just think that after losing this fight and the Charlo fight the way he did, I think it's going to be tough for him to get back into any kind of title contention. I think he had to beat Fundora to even get up there. It's not going to be easy, for sure. It ain't going to be easy. Whatever happened to Jarrett Hurd? I haven't heard shit from Jarrett Hurd. I mean, that's another guy I thought was going to do something. He hasn't done nothing. Let me see. Jarrett Hurd, I mean, we say Gigi was ducked by Sturm, Martinez, Cotto in that order. I don't know who talking about Storm. I don't know who they are. I'll tell you right now, Gigi ain't did no better in the last 2 years either. He been sitting his ass down, just waiting for a paycheck from Canelo. So I'm gonna just say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ducks. I think that Gigi didn't do himself any things any better. You're saying that he was ducked by all these fighters, but what about Gigi? What's he done in the last 2 years? Nothing. Yeah, I seen that. But I mean, that doesn't. I mean, just because you had a setback, he was champion at one time. I know Jarrett Williams beat him or whatever, but I mean, J Rock beat him. He shouldn't just sit back and just he should come back, man. Still fight. I like Jarrett Hurd, but if he made enough money, he's comfortable, so be it. You know what I mean? Gigi ducked Andre Ward. I mean, who has he? They weren't. I don't think they were in the same weight class. Gigi wasn't at 168. But if that happened, yeah, they were not in the same weight class. If I'm correct, no, Andre was in 168. And that being said, I don't think that fight. It's the other way. Andre didn't fight. Andre could have fought better fighters too. I think Andre he fought Kovalev, but after that, who has Andre done? I respect to Andre though. I like him as a commentator. Gigi had a lot of times to fight a lot of fighters that he didn't fight. I mean, to me, the last 2 years he hasn't done shit. Just sitting down, just waiting for this fight with Murata. Come on, man. You could have fought Andre at 160 or whatever. You didn't want to do that. You could have fought some other fighters, and you didn't do that. So, and I'll be honest, Gigi's. I don't care what he's done in the past. Gigi's skills, they're done with, man. He's done for real. He's done. He's not the same the same fighter he was a couple of years ago. And when he goes around Canelo's gonna beat the fuck out of him. Sorry to say, but that's what's gonna happen to him. He beat Murata, right? But Murata's no Canelo. But I'll give him credit because he won the middleweight. Got 2 middleweight crown belts right now. Now, light heavyweight, man. There's a lot of fights I like. He's washed, man. He's not the same guy he was, man. But in the last 2 years, he really hasn't done much. And before that, when I watched him fight and he won the fight, I forgot who he fought. He didn't really impress me at all. That could be a possibility. I wouldn't pacify him. The light heavyweight division is good too, man. You got Bivol fighting Canelo. Shout out to Canelo for doing that. You got Beterbiev fighting Joe Smith. And another guy that people don't talk about is Gilberto Ramirez. I think he's a good fighter, man. He should be fighting somebody, a big fighter soon. I think so. Callum Smith, I haven't heard much from him. I know he got a big victory. He was training with, what's his name? Look at the coach he's training with out here. So he's doing good. Benavidez is a beast. Plant's gonna be fighting soon. Plant wants to fight Charlo or whoever wants to fight. There, Benavidez, he's fighting Lemieux. He should win that fight easy. John Ryder, man. John Ryder's another one. Nobody mentions John Ryder, man. I would love to see Canelo go to the UK and fight John Ryder. That'd be a great fight. Jaime McGee is a joke, guys. Jaime McGee is a joke, which for sure. That guy is a joke. That's a waste of time. But anyways, guys, I'm not getting a lot of feedback. Sunday, try to keep it going. I appreciate you guys. Just hit that like button if you can. Thank you for being here. And I'm about to say good night because it's not a lot of people here, and I don't think nobody's here to really want to talk boxing except the avid fans like you guys, which I appreciate. I think Lubin's got to regroup. Fundora's got to be. That's a lot of fights to be made. Like I said, there's a lot of fights to be made, and they got to come out and make them. You know what I mean? I like to see Benavidez fight Canelo. To be honest with you, I like to see Boo Andre fight some other fighters too. I know he's fighting Zach Parker by Zach Parker. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting him over there in the UK. This is his last contract to fight with his own. Hope he signs with either Al Heyman or somebody so he can get some more fights. I think Boo Andre is a good fighter. People just don't appreciate good stars when they don't see it. So, we have to see it. We have to call for what we call it. Yes, there's a lot of fights that needs to be made, and there's a lot of fights to be made. The question is, when are they going to get made? You know what I mean? I think seeing Canelo do what he's doing, fighting Bivol, and then if he beats Bivol, fighting GG. Then after that, if he actually stays at 175 and fights Beterbiev, you got or Joe Smith Jr., he'll get my respect for sure. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I'll be here tomorrow at 8:30. We'll talk some more boxing. Thank you for all you guys have been here. No need for me to be here this long. Nobody's here right now. Thank you, official Ben Smith TV. Thank you all guys that have been here. Have yourself a good rest of Sunday. And I will definitely be back tomorrow. Thank you so much.